Good evening and welcome to LUTV's coverage. Leeds United's 21s in action tonight, once again, as they host Norwich City at the LNER Community Stadium. Scott Gardner's side were last in action only a few days ago on Thursday, as they beat Sporting Lisbon 2-1 in the Premier League International Cup. Dramatic scenes as Ruben Lopata-White headed in from a last-minute free kick with a bit of invention from Rhys Chadwick, and Oliver Pickles involved as well. Norwich were victorious last time out. They beat Newcastle 3-2, thanks to a brace from Dylan Jones on that occasion, who is once again the starting lineup for the Canaries this evening. They are unbeaten in 3 are tonight's opposition. Leeds in the league lost last time out in the last minute themselves, 3-2 to Crystal Palace, and Rhys Chadwick's red card is one of the reasons why he does not feature tonight. So the team starting 11 is Daryl Ombang, Louis Dudley, Jaden Lienou and Oliver Pickles. It's Ruben Lopata-White, Johnny Howson, Harvey Vincent and Alfie Cresswell. Harry Gray, Conor Douglas and Josh McDonald. On the bench is Rory Mahady, Devon Brockie, Lewis Pirie, Jacob Brenda and Will Firth. As for the Canaries tonight, they have an 11 of Riley Mitchell, Chinaza Okwumo, Vatan Ozcan, Theodore Adelusi, William Gee, Aidan Bridge, Errol Mundle-Smith. He's then Luke Towler, Dylan Jones, Kenneth Aboh and Toby Chilvers. The bench for Alan Nielsen is Henry Bullen, Alan Domeracki, Zachary Baumann, Finlay Welch and Uriah Djedje, as we prepare for last-minute preparations with the game at the LNER Community Stadium. I'd like to say that I am rejoined once again by Ben Parker, who we're now into a bit of a rhythm with this season. Seems like there's a game every couple of days. I guess surprise is that there's only been a handful of league games, Ben, in terms of the PL2. Leeds have only played 4 times, and yet we feel like we've been here in the trenches for several months. So the players will relish these league occasions because they're hanging on to the last 16 spot of the playoff tonight. Norwich are 1 place ahead, 2 places ahead, 1 point ahead. So a good yardstick to see where we're at. No, it certainly isn't. Good evening to you. Good evening to everyone tuning in, because, look, if you ask the players what would you rather do, would you rather train or play matches every 3-4 days? Yeah, they choose the latter all day long, because one, it gives them that opportunity to test themselves like they did in the International Cup only the other night, and what an experience that was for the young group of players coming out on top against a very good sporting outfit. The way they played, the way they've shown that resilience, and I think that's been a bit of a benchmark of the performance over the last couple of weeks, just showing that character, but also showing the quality to go alongside that. And these are all the kind of trademarks we're expecting and hoping to see tonight against the Norwich outfit, who, as you said, very similar team in terms of position in the table, but yeah, good opportunity for Leeds tonight. Yeah, fingers crossed for another positive showing. And there has been plenty, even after those nights of disappointment with results. You know, there's been some defeats to Crystal Palace. Port Vale was a humbling one, but again, against a team of grown men in a different competition, you are going to find it tough, as Harry Gray tries to suggest that he was upended. That's twice now when going to close them down that he has been pulled back. Now the referee has not really made matters clear. It is a free kick to Norwich, but he pointed forwards first to Leeds, and then second time around he pointed the way of Norwich. But Harry Gray has been involved for 25 seconds. He's been manhandled twice. I guess they've done their research. Yeah, well, I think what Norwich are confused by, still having the rugby markings on the pitch. I think they think it's a rugby league game and we're not playing football tonight, because, yeah, blocking goes off, of course, but to do it twice in a matter of seconds and quite blatant as well. I'm glad Harry Gray threw the defender to the floor, not having it one little bit. So Norwich attack down the wing with a cutback on the part of White, and Howson were lurking. Lienou was raring to go as well on the original block, but Norwich pick up the pieces. possession now with Ozcan. Some patientness from the visitors. Dudley nice and brave, and had to be as well. Here's Douglas racing away, a more familiar central position in attacking sense. Number 10 is back tonight. Here's Gray. First time delivery looking for Pickles or McDonald. Brought down by the winger. Looking for an avenue. Still not closed down. He's having a go himself towards the byline, but will retreat and go back to Lienou. And here is Cresswell, who will offer a bit more balance to that midfield for Leeds. With Douglas pushing up as a 10. Cresswell becomes a natural box-to-box midfielder who's been there and done that this season in that role. Goes back to Howson, so Leeds going for the patient approach. If there's not a direct opportunity to attack, they're not exactly taking too many risks. They have just lost the ball now when trying to pass inside. Howson flies in, good strong challenge from both players. With an air kick in midfield for Norwich, that was from Bridge. For the good work from Douglas, and rather slow and steady first minute and a half. The tempo has been lifted a notch, and a good lively opening, Ben.
And that certainly is, and also started straight from the kickoff with those initial challenges on Harry Gray, but it's becoming a bit of a battle out there.
Decent delivery, begging for a touch. Ombang wasn't that flustered. Never really looked like he was panicked, so clearly from the view he had, it was well under control. And a good chance for him, Rory Mahady on the bench. The last time we saw Dawal Ombang, though, he was mightily impressive. And it's a good headache to have for a manager when you've got two goalkeepers that you feel can do a job at the same level on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it pushes each other in training, pushes the standards, improves both players at the same time. No, you're right, with Daryl Ombang, he's had to be a bit patient, but he's looked impressive.
There's Lienou. Speaking of impressive, one of the eye-catching players of the season for Leeds. Pickles back to Howson. Searching out to the wing. Pickles has got the head down, driving into the corner, looking for any scraps of possession. But easily dealt with by Norwich. Taken quickly. Vincent has been in great form of late, back-to-back games with a goal. As one of the Norwich players goes to ground. Quickly taken free kick with Leeds trying to close it down, means they're a little bit out of position. Visitors from left to right now going on the attack, but Howson's got it covered. An old school clearance from Johnny Howson. I think he's got the rugby bug as well.
You know, he's old school when he's wearing black football boots and everyone else has got all these different coloured ones. Just can picture you, Tom. You wasn't a black football boot player, more of a pink, wasn't you?
I'm trying to think it's been that long as Lopata-White gets in the way, and it's a decent enough clearance and a good interception, but gone out for a corner. To so much, actually, to show my age again after shin pad gate last week. Last few pairs we had, T90s, the ones with the red and the blue stripe down the edge of the ankle, Hall of Fame. A few Predators, champagne colour, regretted them. Dad didn't like them ones. I hear they back now, Ben, as well. All the styles nowadays.
Apparently so.
Here is Bridge. It's a powerful corner, and it was met well by a Norwich shirt. Sitting ducks really, and everyone sort of paused Almost expecting that ball to hit the back of the net. Both sides guilty of switching off just for a split second. Norwich can regather. Ozcan takes it in his stride, and Vincent, after leading the press on the left-hand side, now charges across to the right. Again, Scott Garner, as he always does, just reiterating the message of what he wants. Half-hearted appeals of a free kick. Not that many in Norwich shirts around the referee. And there's tempo about proceedings tonight as Lopata-White and Howson just switch positions for a second. Pickles drops in. Now Lienou. Lack of an option in an attacking sense, so backwards Leeds go. Ombang clears, Bridges touches a little loose. Douglas was nearly able to get it back for Leeds. Here in possession now is Aboh. Kenneth Aboh, the Norwich captain. Forward it goes. Gray wants a free kick. Gardner and his coaching staff will ask the fourth official. Harry Gray spent more time on the floor than he has in the air. He's clearly been targeted. Inside. Gray for now, just chasing loose passes. Here is McDonald. Urged to keep it because he's got a Norwich player for company. McDonald's going to take them all on his own. Now flicks it to Gray. Only Douglas in a central position on the edge of the box. Gray to Pickles. Cresswell and Dudley either side of him. Here is the Leeds fullback, Dudley. Vincent, early cross. Just didn't get the pace on it he wanted, but what he did do, Ben, was put it in an area of uncertainty, forcing Norwich into a decision. Results in a corner. No,
it was then the best passage of play Leeds have put together in this first 9 minutes or so. Bit of pace out wide with McDonald linking up with Harry Gray. We've got some good numbers forward. Midfielders committing their runs in towards the box. Forces corner kick.
Taken short towards Vincent. Dug out towards the far post. It's not back. Here's Lienou. Has a curling effort. Certainly worth a try. The frame of the goal denies him. And it's hit with some real venom. I guess for you, Ben, I would say the best part, as pleasing as a fullback yourself, is there was no indecision there. He took one touch, looked at his spot, and that is what allowed him to get a sight at goal.
Yeah, what allowed him was that good first touch. Just into his stride on his strong left foot. Does everything right. Just bends it around the handful of players in front of him. Goalkeeper was beaten, all ends up. So unlucky to see his effort smash against that crossbar.
Good inside run. That's a strong challenge from Cresswell. He's won the ball, but there's no doubt about it. He caught William G. And that is going to hurt, but the ball was won very, very easily, and that's the element of a contact sport that sometimes we've lost now in the modern era, Ben. I mean, it's a textbook tackle, to be honest. Certainly for a biased perspective, he's got a tiny bit of the man to just show that physicality, but won the ball comfortably.
Yeah, and I'm glad the referee has just let it go, because, as you mentioned, strong, hard challenge, but fair as well. Thankfully, the Norwich player's back on his feet as well. The big number 5, you can see him there having a bit of a limp, but that's what football's all about. It is a contact sport. Sometimes we forget that.
Lienou trying to stand them up and block the cross while he can't. McDonald comes back, and all good fullbacks need a winger from time to time to help them out, and those two have built up a nice rapport in last couple of weeks. Here's Douglas. Such a strong carrier of the ball, Conor Douglas. Into Dudley, who he's not even running at full pelt there, but such as the speed he brings to this team, he gets them over halfway. Into Pickles from Cresswell. Squeeze through, brilliant pass. to McDonald, splits the midfield. Goes wide to Vincent, just skips up over his shoulder, but still retains enough possession to keep Leeds on the front foot. Gray's asking for it from Cresswell. That was the intended target, it's just overhit. Norwich will let that go, albeit via a challenge from Lienou. Again, there's a nice flow to the game, Ben. Norwich are more than comfortable in these proceedings as well. They're ahead of Leeds in the table for a reason, because they've started well. Physical, strong team, but Leeds are not penned in. They're not going full throttle either. This game's there for either team to try and take full advantages. I guess the main worry for Leeds would be this battle that Harry Gray's got. He doesn't seem to be getting any leeway from the officials at all.
Yeah, and it's one of those kind of moments for a young player, in particular Harry Gray, just not to get frustrated with a few of the decisions. He'd have clearly felt there that what he did to the Norwich defender, the defenders have been doing even more so back to him. So, look, I keep saying, I think we said it last game, didn't we? The experience of Harry Gray, which sounds crazy to say, his experience due to his young age, but the experiences is amassed now already. He'll know just not to dwell on little things, put it to the back of his mind, because he's just waiting for that one opportunity to come his way, and we know the quality from there on in.
Leeds do get a free kick finally, and there are the sarcastic cheers. They didn't take long. Pickles stood over the set piece. Into the near post, awkward for the keeper. Lopata-White was lurking. Good hands, in fairness, from Riley Mitchell. You want any sort of drop or spill just to try and get a chance, but there was not even a sniff of that from the Norwich stopper. Lienou's got to watch it come over his head as it clears away down the touchline. Set pieces, though, have been pretty consistent so far for Leeds. Of course, that great goal the other night, which Lopata-White did score from. Pickles had a word with Chadwick prior to taking it, and then played a part himself. That'd be such a pleasing aspect, Ben, for if you were a coach, or even Scott Garner, I know somebody you know very well. When the players take their own initiative, a lot of time coaches put their points across, but it's up to them to find gaps on the fly while they're out there, and that was all their own architecture and design, and it worked perfectly. Yeah,
and they're the fine margins, they really are, and set pieces are a big game changer, whether it's defending or conceding like we did down at Crystal Palace, or scoring ourselves, as you mentioned, against Sporting. So both boxes are crucial, and in a tight game, and the first 15.5 minutes suggest this could be a tight game, another battle out of the pitch, especially in the midfield areas. Well, these type of games can get decided on set pieces, so yeah, it's important we're alert and alive in both boxes.
Yeah, Ombang just gestures that he wants players to be spread out a little bit via Lopata-White. It's a Cresswell, he does that. McDonald is opening up the legs and doing all he can to try and beat Okwumo to get to it via a little fight he has done. Great strength from the Leeds winger. Underneath the studs he has, he just tries to guide it into Gray. Won't get there. Norwich, another physical, strong team as well. Leeds are starting to get that as Gray is frustrated. And Harry Gray trying to explain his side of proceedings. Ball pass from Norwich. The coach frustrated there. Leeds get it back. Here is Pickles. Headed away from Ozcan. Chested away just at the nick of time by Bridge. Only as far as Lopata-White. Dudley. He's upended. Now the Norwich striker, Dylan Jones. His turn to feel frustrated at a free kick going his way. 17 gone. If you're just joining us here on LUTV, not missed too much goal-mouth action. You have missed, though, quite a vibrant game from both teams. No sign of fatigue from this young Leeds United group. Only in action on Thursday. Cresswell looking for Lienou. Has to be quick here. Can only hit it into the roof of the net. But there's been a nice pattern, Ben, from Leeds the last couple of nights where we know the football this team can play, the academy that has taught them over the years. You know, we could be here all year if we talked about the best moments we've had as commentator and co-commentator of this 21s team over the last 8 years. But there has been a mix, hasn't there, this year, from great team goals to sometimes just try to play it simple, play it wide. They've got two ambitious fullbacks, and it's just given them another dimension. Yeah,
play real football. Play to the kind of conditions that you see in game, and I feel we just mixed our game up again. The last 2 to 3 weeks have been really pleasing to see. We've had to win the battle, we've had to come through some tricky moments, and this could be another one right here with Norwich pressing forward.
Good challenge again from Dudley. That is timed really well. On a knife edge, because if he times it wrong, because of the power he showed, he's at least getting a yellow. Nearly halfway through this first half, just waiting for Ozcan to go and get the ball back. Up to Jones, tries to turn and play it off. Vincent, all Lopata-White. Couple of ambitious lunges there. It's towards Gray. The Norwich players kicked out while trying to keep possession. You can see Alfred Cresswell's sympathy levels. I think they're in the minus. I do wonder sometimes when, imagine if you actually were hurt and you're in pain, and then somebody just says something and you're on the floor, you just think, I don't need this. And then it's first 11 when there's 30,000 people in agreement. It's like, I'm actually in a bit of pain. Alfie Cresswell wasn't interested one bit. And that's that centre half of him where he's as tough as all boots. As Lienou comes away, he is caught late. He's avoided injury. It's quite a late challenge from Aboh. The captain has had a word with the referee. He's not massively late, but I don't think he'll have to do one more. But just maybe it epitomises, Ben, what we've seen so far. That, you know, fair enough, Lienou was running into a bit of space, but such is the commitment that Norwich have shown, not even willing to let him make 5 or 6 yards forward. And the same for Leeds. Everything that Norwich have done, Leeds have been on them as quick as a flash to put a challenge in.
Yeah, and it seems a real strength of this young Norwich team, that the physical, the athletic, trying to get in our players' faces, make it more difficult for us in terms of just putting us off our rhythm and routine by leaving a foot in. So yeah, it's becoming, even though a game that's not been full of chances the first 20 and a half minutes gone, but yeah, real good watch in terms of how can our players deal with this physicality, a different type of game to what we saw against Sporting, where we're more technical, but yeah, these are the different kind of challenges we expect to face throughout the course of the season.
Pickles. Lienou, strong challenge on him, but again, a timely one. Lienou again, here's Howson. Dudley making his way forward. To the touchline, Lienou's got to maybe just get back a bit quicker as Mundle-Smith has escaped his grasp, and now he's turned inside. Pickles there to bail him out. And it's just got to stay carefully on top of things defensively. Bit of a clumsy challenge from Douglas. Late challenge as well. He's let that go. Of all the challenges, I thought that was the one he would pull up. Game just reaching the halfway point of the first half. It's Cresswell in possession, caught in midfield. Good time by Norwich midfielder Towler. There was no complaint, so usually answers anything. Cresswell having a slight word with his opposite number. Do we think the referee needs to stop the game and have a word, Ben? Is it something you feel is necessary?
I think it's just the amount of challenges, free kicks been built up by probably by both set of players, more Norwich more recent in the game, but it's not allowing to have a flow and a rhythm to the match. That's why it just feel a bit stop-start, not many chances either end.
Oh, the ball's got through. Well worked by Dudley. As cool as you like back there. And every reason why people in attendance are clapping him, because that's a free opportunity for Dylan Jones, who's got a brace last time out. He's got a goal at his mercy. I think there's only one outcome, unless there's a fantastic intervention from Ombang. And when you are back there, last man, you can't miss time. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, we spoke about the strengths of Louis Dudley over the course of the season and last year when he burst onto this scene, that his biggest attribute was his pace. And that just comes to rescue just in time when probably some full-backs aren't getting back there due to not having those attributes of Dudley. But gets back, wins the ball, makes the challenge and manages to clear the danger.
Bridges delivery to the far post. Ombang comes. He was catching that before he run into Louis Dudley, and he's come off second best. They've both knocked the wind out of each other. Referee's just checking they're okay. It's gone behind for a corner. First glance, but it looked like Ombang was so focused on winning the ball, he didn't realise there was a player underneath him. Rather than a goalkeeper error as in a handling issue.
No, sometimes these things do happen. Do you want to see? Of course not, but just hope he doesn't put Ombang off coming from future crosses, deliveries, because he has a good size, good presence within that 6-yard box and 18 penalty area, so hope he can come for more when required.
Bridge needs a good corner this time. Met by Douglas. Deflection helps Norwich's cause. Vincent doesn't know where the ball is. Aboh goes across to G. G's floated cross was blocked. Norwich get another corner. Starting to win quite a few set pieces here, the Canaries. Bridge, the 6-yard box, glanced off the head of Cresswell. Too much on it for Dudley to keep it alive. Ombang stays on his line as Lienou clears. Helped on its way by McDonald. Gray chasing both centre-backs there. They worked in a in unison to block Harry Gray. But thanks to his work and further teammate pressure, Norwich rushed the pass. It's all part of the learnings, isn't it? Ben, we say it all the time across the season. Would Harry Gray be happy after 27 minutes having less than 10 touches in attacking areas? No. That's life, unfortunately. You are going to have to learn that as a pro, as you go through the levels and the teams. If your club's progressing, you won't have it all your own way all the time.
No, of course not. And that's about just learning your craft as we get into a decent area now with McDonald.
Yeah, Gray's now charging into an attacking place for a cutback, which McDonald has yet to deliver. Now he will. Cleared away by Adelusi. It will be a Leeds corner, and that was a blistering counter-attack.
Yeah, it was, and 2-3 times now we've got McDonald into the game. And again, it's not staying really out wide, it's just drifting into those little areas of the pitch, where it's making it more difficult for the fullback to pick up.
The post, just past the goal. A dipping delivery. The goalkeeper's actually hurt himself, Riley Mitchell. Looking at the left knee. And they're just looking for any touch. Douglas could obviously be a Norwich shirt that clips the ball. And Mitchell has rejected the offer of treatment. Clears away. Lienou wins the duel, but Norwich player touched it last, so Lienou's got to win it back, and he was urged not to foul. He follows that blueprint perfectly. Not only that, he carries it into an attacking area. Leers off Cresswell. It's great from Jaden Lienou. Neat footwork from Cresswell. Dudley aiming for Gray. Won't reach him. It will reach Lienou, puts it back in towards Vincent. There's offside appeals as Vincent. It's like a speculative effort towards goal. A very late flag if we're going to get one. And we try, of course, not put too much pressure on our youngsters. But you know, the performances of some of these players the last few weeks, Jaden Lienou, Harvey Vincent, just little bits of inventiveness, Ben, where they just craft something out of nothing. And you know, Jaden Lienou was about to get tackled. What he did all on his own then set the motion for an attack.
Yeah, and you do need those little bit of brilliance from individuals just to help the team move, the team progress with the ball. Just there with Vincent, especially the form he has been in the last couple of games, finding back of net. You expect him just to bring the ball down and create something. Almost thought he was offside himself, but here's another player to watch out for tonight, because he's been in some superb form individually and as a collective as a team.
Vincent and Ozcan. Vincent just gets past him. Does very well to stop the Chilvers from getting away. He done bridge inside, this time to Luke Towler. No, it's just taking the time for a second, looking for any gaps in the Leeds midfield. Douglas gets a toe to the ball, so he can start an attack. Now he has to play it into the path of Vincent. He's done it, and now Vincent can look into the area. Cutback was for Gray. And I have to think sometimes, I mean, that's blatant time wasting by the number 5, William G. Not spotted, or at least dealt with by the official. We'll just get your thoughts in a second, Ben, on that attack, because that through ball was a winger's dream for Vincent. Just turns it away from a Norwich leg. Here is Lienou, the up and under towards Cresswell. Got his bearings wrong. He was onside as well. And because of the run and the delivery, in hindsight now we can say this, he actually could have controlled that and had a shot.
It's good variation from the corner kick, mixing the set pieces up, going short, created an overload. I think Cresswell there, we've seen him becoming a goal-scoring midfielder. There's something he's still not fully on terms with himself, if you do ask him, but I think he just got caught in two minds in terms of whether trying to go for goal or square it across the penalty for his teammate.
Behind Norwich, another deflection, yet another corner. We've had plenty of those tonight. Just going back to that ball from Douglas into Vincent. Sometimes helps, doesn't it? We often discuss the fact that players play 2 positions. But if you are a winger that's playing 10 centre mid, you know what a winger wants. So it helps you. You know, I mean, you should know naturally, but there is that element of extra class. Yeah,
it's very true, because there have been a lot of players who have just played it to feet for Vincent, and that might slow the momentum down. But the fact that he's played it in front of him, he's at full tilt, pushes the team up, get a corner.
Bridge with the latest corner. It's cleared away by Leeds. McDonald just wanted an extra bit of space. He will at least dig his heels in to try and get away and attack. He's done more than that. He's given it to Vincent. McDonald again. A throw into Leeds. There's a big appeal from the players on the pitch, but none from the dugout, which tells you that Leeds throw-in is legitimate. Into the final 13 minutes we go of this first half. Howson flicks it to Lopata-White. Releases Dudley. Lienou is really far forward asking for the ball. The pass has just been sliced a little bit. But again, just the positioning allowed Leeds to try that. He's offside, so the move breaks down. But that is the task of a modern fullback now, Ben. You stay on the line, you look for a way through. Norwich, though, defensively switched on and kept their line intact. So only a free kick, but yeah, if Lienou wants to play first-team football here, we've already seen with the efforts of Goodmanson in the first team what is required. The level is difficult because he's made it look such a heroic start for him in his Leeds career. But being active down the wings, support play both defensively and on the attack is a blueprint for Leeds. He's now got defensive work to do. Lopata-White and Dudley trying to stop Ozcan. The touch helps Lienou. His clearance is a little wayward. Ozcan only looks up the line for Bridge. Squeeze through from Bridge. Out to Chilvers, back to Ozcan. In again to Chilvers, Leeds just switching off a second. It's smart by Norwich. And Pickles shows good reading of the game to intercept. Lopata-White definitely caught the Norwich player. Vincent did not. It will be a corner. An important intervention because the cross was on its way.
Yeah, it was. Then Norwich just created an overload down there, left-hand side. We were working ever so hard just to try and fill the spaces. Eventually we did. Any cross that got cut back was on the front foot, was alert and alive to the danger. But still more danger to be dealt with because Vincent does ever so well in his work rate, making that challenge. It was a fair one. It does lead to another corner.
Bridge prepares another set piece. This time it's overhit, recovered by Okwumo. Here's Bridge. Nearly squeezed through, but Cresswell was on hand. Great. Such good work from Gray. Looked like the angle was gone, but the trick helped him. Pickles looks all the way around looking for McDonald. Nearly tapped into Douglas. It is. They've set him up and he punishes them. Great support play. Put the ball into a dangerous area. Asked questions of the defence. Questions they couldn't answer. Leeds United 1, Norwich 0.
Yeah, there's the pace and the quality of the counter-attack. Leads to a blatant error, of course, but the desire for the players to show the energy, to get into good areas. You just never know what might happen from a cross. Thankfully, it led to an error, fell to our player rushing in, and that player was Connor Douglas, and he's not going to miss from there. A scintillating counter-attack leads to a mistake, and we punish Norwich. All ends up 1-0.
Defensively, Ben, what's the strategy there? Is that something where you've got to be quite crafty and like flick it around the side door a little bit, rather than is that a rule? Never ever go the way the Norwich defender did.
Yeah, basically don't do what you just did. So anything other than that, then you'll have a better chance of not conceding a goal. And look, it is difficult when the ball is coming across the face of the goal. His body position was all wrong. If you do find yourself like that, I think just put the ball out for a corner kick and deal from that danger from there. But yeah, for the players just to have that desire to keep going, and it takes a lot of energy. It's hard work, believe me, but yeah, Conor Douglas gets the rewards just by not chasing a lost cause, just showing a desire to get into an area, and it wasn't due to our pullback, our player, to give him the opportunity. Capitalised on a mistake, but the most important thing, he was there to do so.
Into the last 8 minutes of this first half, Leeds lead thanks to the right boot of Douglas, which will help Leeds climb above Norwich in the standings with current goings on. They will be up to 9th on 9 points from 5 games. Caught late on halfway is Cresswell. No real pressure on Howson from Norwich, so he takes his time. There's only one other game in the PL2 tonight. That's Leicester versus Blackburn, and the Foxes are losing 3-1 at home. So Blackburn moving to 22nd, drops Leeds. So he drops Leicester below Leeds after Leeds' goal. So lots to look at in terms of the table. Here's Lopata-White into Gray. Douglas round the corner to Lienou. Just a fraction too much. It's great to see Conor Douglas just get some regular games, Ben. You know, when he first burst onto the scene, maybe a little raw, but you could see that, I guess, talent somewhere in there with cameos off the bench. Then he was out of positions. Then he had to learn his new positions. He'd be in one week, out the other. You know, even if he has had to play 8 the last couple of games, he'd just be so happy to start a game for Leeds United. Yeah,
and it's these back-to-back games in the same position as well, which will help not Conor Douglas, but any player. And he's probably playing in a position which he hasn't done too much in his development in the younger age groups within the Leeds United Academy, but putting a pressure on there on the Norwich goalkeeper, nearly get a reward for that, but yeah, he's just starting to come into his own, and I think really enjoying having that, yeah, hard work role, but the license to get forward and support the strikers.
Retreats back to Ombang. To Dudley. And now Vincent. So nice crisp passing amongst Leeds' players. Keeps them in the driving seat. Mundle up with 5 to go in the first half. Lopata-White aiming for McDonald. Gets there via the head of Okwumo. Lienou. For Cresswell, just avoids him via a Norwich interception. Chilvers in space in the 11 jersey. Ozcan even more room to manoeuvre. Lopata-White stepping out of centre half to try and cover that pass. Everything for now under control for Leeds defensively. Gray just checking along with Scott Garner where the line needs to be for him. possession. They're not going very far with it. Important for Leeds to not switch off, but a couple of minutes left, Ben. Norwich just having to go across centre-back to full-back. It's not a terrible position to be. The issue is if they then try and break the lines, which they have done there. Leeds are fighting tooth and nail to make sure there's no more progression. Away by Dudley. Vincent nips in. All very well measured that by Leeds United defensively. Not a single ounce of panic.
Not one bit, and yeah, the organisation skills was spot on. Looked really hard to play through, and then when Norwich tried to inject a bit of tempo, it was on the front foot. And I think that's been a major positive of this first 45 minutes, just the aggressive nature and how we've set up. Not been plenty of chances, but been really good at his defensive work as a whole.
And Lienou just guilty of looking across the pitch rather than being aware of who was around him. Jones is flagged offside. He stops a quick-fire counter-attack for Norwich. Vincent picks up Lopata-White's pass. Tries to drive it into the area, just got his cross wrong. From a coaching perspective, Ben, I mean, mistakes are never great, but I guess if you're going to make one, do it in the opposition box with a minute left.
Yeah, of course, and it was nearly another good move because just played a couple of passes around the back and then they injected the tempo into the pass out wide to Vincent. Unfortunately, his cross, yeah, was all wrong in the end, but it's been a good, solid performance this from Leeds in the opening period.
It certainly has. Just a couple of minutes left. Fourth official will soon be getting the board ready. It's a potential foul throw. Was that powerful? I thought the right back had fallen out with the centre half for a minute as Gray tries to unsettle said centre half, which is Theodore Adelusi. Up to Jones it goes, into Chilvers, out to Ozcan. Dudley just delays the pressurising for a second. It's an awkward enough bounce, unless Ombang doesn't have to meet it first time, in which he doesn't, and he can catch it with ease. For making sure the timer on the clock for the time wasting is reset. Pickles back to Ombang with no real pressure on him. Dudley to Douglas, gets told there's a man coming, but the touch wasn't good enough anyway. Pickles bails him out with an inch-perfect challenge, and then the run, and now there's a counter-attack on. Pickles wide to Lienou. McDonald bursting into a position to attack. Picked out by his fullback. Inside looking for Gray. Keeper will stop it from going out. I mean, Leeds nearly had an issue defensively as a minute of stoppage time added. The class in which they counter-attack just shows the confidence in this team.
Oh, and Pickles, right place, right time. Did ever so well to, yeah, firstly win that challenge. Really had to make it, but then had the quality to go forward as well.
Ozcan. Dudley tries to get a toe to it. Lopata-White does more than that. It goes to Bridge. Into Adelusi. And there is half time. So 1-0 to Leeds. Douglas's goal around the 35th minute mark is enough for Leeds United to take the lead at the LNER Community Stadium. Great counter-attack for Leeds. Douglas finished well, and that is the first 45 minutes in the bag. There's Lienou, flicked inside by McDonald. He was looking for Gray or Pickles, but neither of them in close proximity. Pickles gives away a free kick. Good turn from Jones. They're in here, Norwich. Ombang had it covered. The shot coming in from Chilvers. Disappointed not to get that on target because it came from a very quick situation through the middle for Norwich. A couple of passes and they were through on goal. And an alarming situation for Leeds. Just a little bit slow at the blocks. It was good play from Norwich as well, you can't deny that. But you need to make it hard for them, Ben, there on that occasion.
Yeah, and I think just in terms of the approach of the second half, it's more of the same like they did in the first, and it's the hard work, battling for the ball. There were plenty of challenges throughout the game, plenty of niggly ones as well, but it's all part and parcel of the game of football. And yeah, I think for Leeds, it's sticking to the guns, making it difficult, as I said, for Norwich. But then, can we try and be more proactive in the final third, get those chances into Harry Gray? We all know he thrives on the service in the final third, but as a team collective, we worked ever so hard in that first 45.
Certainly did. Norwich. Back it goes to their centre half, Adelusi. White cuts it out, slip from Aboh. Sorry, Jones helps Ombang take his time with his clearance. Here's McDonald. Ombang goes wide to Dudley. Cresswell charging forward from centre midfield up into attack. Gray on the shoulder of Adelusi, trying to force him into an error. Leeds not really getting into a rhythm on the ball, but defensive, they're not into massive pressure. Again, the Canaries looking for an avenue. Nobody really for them going for the killer ball, all happy to just be patient. McDonald nips in, finally had enough of the Norwich possession and times it well. That's all what Leeds need to do, Ben. Don't have to panic. Just when they've decided to execute the challenge, it's precise. Howson clears. It's certainly been Norwich's first 5 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, and you do expect the team who are a goal down to have a little bit of a reaction start of the second period. But it's just important that we stay strong, stay cool and calm as well. No need to panic at all. So can we just soak this little bit of pressure up, not give any chances away?
Here's Ombang. Throwing goes the way of Leeds United. White just too far in front of McDonald. It's unlucky that he's Eyes would have lit up with the way the ball was spinning towards him. Fullback Okwumo isn't happy at a lack of movement down his touchline. Towler beaten to the ball by Leeds. And the ball over the top allows Howson to have a free touch of possession. Like it was a risky pass, but it got there in the end to Pickles. Now Howson decides to try and switch it, looking for Vincent, forcing a touch from a Norwich player. Vincent down the line to Dudley, who's got inside. Gray's peeling into the edge of the box, shooting range for Harry Gray, but gets his technique all wrong. 51 minutes gone. That was a chance for Leeds, Ben.
I think it just shows the experience, what Johnny Howson brings to the team. Yeah, we know his quality. You think of experience in terms of communication, being in the right position, like he was just there. But knowing that the team been under a bit of pressure the first 5 or 6 minutes, and he just does a long diagonal pass, and even if we don't win the throw-in, we're further up the pitch, playing in a better area, can try and just pin Norwich back a little bit. But we get the throw off good field position. We nearly create that chance for Harry Gray, so it's just that experience which the young players will be thriving off.
Into Douglas, now Cresswell. Here's Pickles. Back to Vincent. Just slightly taking the ball away from him. He never had full control. It all seemed to be spinning away from his right boot. He has kept it though into Dudley. Now to Pickles. Grace comes short for it. Good feet from the referee as Douglas gets hold of the ball. Now Leeds have 3 in the area. Vincent goes all the way to the far post. No handball appeals. Okwumo. Pickles dives in. Tries to sandwich the ball away from the Norwich man by going around both legs in an attempt to be so visibly winning the ball, but it was a challenge that when you come from behind, Ben, it's so difficult to win it legitimately and get away with it.
Yeah, it's so difficult when you're on the front foot, you're trying to press high up the pitch, so you run into a challenge at full tilt, and then all of a sudden you have to try and put the brakes on. It just slides and collides into the back of the ankle. Can be a sore one, of course.
Putting the pressure on, encouraged by Scott Gardner. Well, that's by Cresswell. Leeds were under pressure there. Norwich have got 2 subs getting ready. Howson digs in. Just gets there in the nick of time as Lienou beaten to the ball. Via a foul there, according to the ref. It's been a good battle that between him and Errol Mundle-Smith. They've been in each other's pockets for plenty of the game.
I think you said in the first half though about Lienou. Been really impressive since coming into the club. He's made that left back spot his own. His quality going forward, but also his defensive attributes. He's strong, he's good positionally. He has made a bright start.
Pickles into McDonald. Leeds capitalising on an error. McDonald wanted a forward run from Pickles. Not everybody can think like a winger. Pickles just stayed on side, didn't want to attack any further, wanted to provide a different angle. McDonald is an out-and-out number 11. Expected a run into the channel there. Jones and Lopata-White have an arm wrestle on halfway to Towler. Cresswell trying to get to Bridge. For now, Norwich have stuck to 1 sub. It's Finley Welch that's preparing to come on. Donald gets a toe to the ball. Likewise, Howson. But Howson out of position means that Lienou has really got to work hard, which he does. It's a good clearance. It wasn't a clearance, it was a pass to Gray. Just bounces off him. The sub can be made. But Leeds United will see Toby Chilvers replaced by Finlay Welch. 55 minutes Norwich have waited before they want to try and mix things up.
Yeah, they've obviously seen something, haven't they? Yeah, they're on in the second half that maybe they're not happy with either the formation-wise, or they just want to inject a bit of life in that, the forward areas. So different challenge that we might face. Just have to wait and see how they do set up now.
Necessary because there was a risk of a Norwich player coming in late on the rebound. No pressurising on the Norwich City centre half, who's got several options, although not exactly confident just yet in playing any of them. Then he underhits the pass. Douglas can create an attack for Vincent. It's a good one. Vincent strides forward, runs into a bit of traffic, gets away for now, makes his way central. Vincent asking questions, and still strong challenge on the edge of the box. Referee gives the free kick. I think mainly because the player stays down, Ben. Strong enough challenge coming in, but do you think you won enough of the ball for that player go on?
Look, there was plenty of legs, bodies. And I think Vincent at one point there were a pass on, neglected that down, so he just thought, do you know what, I'm going to channel my inner Forrest Gump and just keep running. Nearly got some success out of it, but yeah, I just think it was a foul in the end, unfortunately.
Yeah, replay a bit more conclusive, wasn't it? So, good call from the official. Here is Bridge. No real pressure just yet on G. Luke Towler carries it forward and now floats it wide to Mundle-Smith, who has Lienou waiting for him to try and dispossess him. And he does. It is that strength. Mundle-Smith scores second best. I think he's just run into a Leeds player and hurt himself. As Vincent picks up the ball, it's effortless from Lienou. Now Vincent's doing anything but that. He's putting everything into this lung-bursting run. And it's a clap of the hands from Ben Parker alongside me. It wasn't pretty to some. Some fans will love that sheer determination and hard work. What it does get is Leeds a set piece.
Oh, I tell you what, his teammates will be delighted because it started with Lienou, superb pass into his feet, but nothing was on for Vincent, let's be honest. You see the pass here. Great touch out of his feet, and then he just uses his pace, his strength, draws the challenge out, gone from defence to attack, blink of an eye, pushed straight up the pitch.
Yeah, fired in from Douglas over the head of Gray. Keeper's come for it, he's nowhere near it. Leeds would have had a body at the far post. Cresswell, the shoulder barge, referee lets the game go. Here is McDonald, back to Cresswell. I didn't think it was for him. Here's Gray. Some desperate lunges from Norwich players. Aboh was asking why he wasn't given a free kick when he was sent into the city centre of York for a quick coffee by Alfie Cresswell. Went flying.
Yeah, I did wonder at one point, is he coming back? But it just shows the physicality of this game, doesn't it, Tom? It's really been like that from the word go. From the first 5 seconds. Remember the kick-off as Leeds are preparing a double change, but it's that physicality which I think we've really grown into this early part of the campaign, and the players seem to be thriving on that type of challenge.
Yeah, they certainly are. So Jacob Rendu, who scored a goal a couple of weeks ago, will make his way onto the pitch for Harvey Vincent. who will no doubt be told to come off near the touchline. A slight delay here. And it would suggest that Cresswell, the other sub, he is. So Devon Brockie also into the game. Vincent's actually come across the near touchline. Cresswell's been told to go off near. I don't understand what the difference is. But they are the two alterations, two young men with an opportunity for half an hour to showcase their talents.
What I'm liking over the course of the season as well, Tom, is that you just expressing your dislike for certain things. We started with numbers not playing in the correct position, and number 2 should be playing at right back, for example. Then we've gone shin pads, and now the new one for tonight is the players going off in the right direction. It's becoming Tom Hill bingo card, and do you know what? This is why I love working with you, mate.
I'm getting old, I'm miserable.
Shall we just put it in that category, shall we?
I am getting more miserable. Hour is gone. If you are just joining us, we are happy, really. Colin Douglas's 35th minute goal, 36th minute, should I say, is the difference. It does look like Douglas has gone to 8, back to a familiar position the last couple of weeks, allowing Devon Brockie to go and play in the 10. Render will just be a straight swap for Vincent as right midfielder. Brockie held the line a few weeks ago as a number 9, so durability to his game. Lienou tried to caress it into the path of McDonald. It's good work from the Norwich defence. Lienou for a second went for the more finesse sort of interception rather than power. That's caught him off guard. And now Bridge can attack with Ozcan. Towler to Bridge, further wide to G. Scott Gardner again, just straight away giving instructions out to Devon Brockie where he wants him stood. Into the substitute Finlay Welch, one of his first touches. The centre of gravity, powerful carrier of the ball. Good work from Brockie, he's unlucky. Gray now tries to join in. Advantage played as Bridge comes away. It's into Jones. Back out to the Norwich midfielder. It's a spring in the step of the Canaries as they try to stretch the play wide for Aboh, who turns past McDonald. Wants a second go at him. McDonald's got to stay on his feet. Now Lienou comes across. McDonald does well not to foul Welch. They actually seem to have an extra player out there on that touchline. 1-2 is worked. Brockie stops it from becoming an immediate attack. Now Douglas steps up. Norwich have just turned up a gear. And for all of this frantic work on the edge of the box, Leeds are still stood proud at a 1-0 scoreline. Aboh retrieves possession. The captain picks his pass. It's into Towler. Delivery towards Lopata-White. There's no touch on it from either shirt. That should be a goal kick. And it will be, but it's just a different intensity level, Ben, from Norwich. Nothing for Leeds to massively panic about because it was as you were.
Yeah, it is, and huge credit to that Leeds outfit. Just not the back 4 and goalkeeper, but everyone, Brockie in particular, because it can be difficult for subs coming into this type of game where the intensity is so high, but he's been putting himself about as Brockie.
I think it was first off Howson. It's turned away by McDonald. Howson's showing a good turn of feet to actually keep it in play, and he's gone to Gray. Gray is having to wrestle with G. I mean, that has to be a free kick, surely. Harry Gray is in disbelief. Well, there's a lot of frustration from Leeds fans that can see the same angle we can. William G decided to take one of Harry Graham's arms off and push him to the floor. In my opinion, Ben, what is yours?
Well, I mean, let's just stick to the basics, and if someone's dragging you to the floor, then it's a free kick. So there's nothing more to it than that, and Yeah, I just don't think referees help themselves, really, do they? It's just a blatant free kick and just frustrates players, fans, coaches, and Tom Hill alike.
Yes, Lienou was pulled back there, according to the full-back. It's good feet from Mundle-Smith. It's a good tackle from Pickles. Quite a theatrical fall for Mundle-Smith. It is a goal kick. It wasn't a giant penalty appeal, but he did go to ground. So we see a replay of it here. Gray turns in, tries to come across. They'll say it's natural enough. I mean, Gray's got hold of him as well. I think the issue is I don't think Harry Gray has won more than one free kick tonight. And when it happens like that, you start to see a sense of injustice as if you're a striker and you're never getting those 50-50 calls. Have you changed your mind now you've seen a close-up replay?
No, not all, I think. He's on his way down because he's been pushed down and pulled down. And finally, he's got a free kick and a few cheers from the stand to be expected, and the yellow card is out as well.
So Harry Gray does win a free kick. There might be an element to that might be the weakest of them all. And you do sometimes find where players are given cards for what the referee maybe missing a first challenge earlier. It was Theodore Adelusi that has been yellow carded for a off the ball incident with Gray, pushing him back off the ball. Powerful work from Douglas. Here's Brockie. Brockie for a second didn't know where the ball was, having his shirt pulled, tried to just about pick the gap for Render. The two subs millimetres away from combining as the Norwich player takes it out of play. And Jones's heavy touch is met with a chorus of sarcastic jeers. Leeds win yet another throw. Pickles into Dudley. He's been caught out by Aboh. In fact, the referee's giving the free kick the other way. I think Leeds have won 3 kicks in a row. What's going on?
Yeah, I was with you on that one. I just thought Dudley was the first one to pull the shirt. Thankfully, it was the other way because I won't say it was exposed, but they have a lot of bodies in forward areas.
Douglas tries to put some airtime on that pass, and it's helped because it's allowed Dudley to get to it. Now, he had Brockie asking for it at the far post. Pickles has to drop the shoulder, wasn't confident enough playing the first pass. Lopata-White goes across to Howson. Baumann is ready for Norwich to come off the bench. Howson now to Pickles. Howson further wide to Brockie. Offside appeals are ignored. Brockie, what a ball. Render was at the far post. It's a striker's dream. Dudley to the bar line. Another cross. McDonald is there. It's taken off his head by Chinaza Okwumo. Some good defending. You can appreciate that as Leeds concede a throw-in. But a moment for that Devon Brockie cross. I mean, if you're a centre forward, you dream of those.
No, you certainly do. And I mentioned only moments ago as Norwich are making that substitution, that Brockie's had a lively start since coming on. That's just another example. Fantastic cross. And Render, the other substitution from a Leeds perspective, trying to get on the end of it at the far post. That's how he got his goal. Not too long back for the under-21s did Render by coming in at the far post. So it's something to just keep an eye on from him.
Towler replaced by Baumann. McDonald. He made the wrong decision there, going across the one way across the defenders. Aboh brings it under control. Howson encouraged not to foul him. They just try to pen Norwich in here. This game is so close to turning either way. Here's Welch, not the space they want him in. He's got such a quick turn of foot, and he lays it to the left-hand side. It's Ozcan in on plates. For the forward, Jones. Ombang gets the celebrations because he's got a touch to that. And it's as if he's got the match winner, Ombang, but he's not interested in the praise. He wants his team to switch on from the set piece. If he has got a touch, which the officials clearly thought so, what a save that is. Because I thought at first, just first glance, Ben, it's been blazed over. But it's the fingertip from Ombang. I mean, that is incredible.
Wow. Well, that is the save of the season right there.
The goal was at his mercy. Jones. Header from Lopata-White. And for all those drills that goalkeepers do in muddy fields, Thorpe Arch, for months on end in the winter, waiting for opportunities like that. You might not get to use them for weeks, months, even years in your career, but they do the different types of drills, reacting, making saves while diving the other way. That last effort was a more routine effort from Ombang, but yet you make yourself big, you hope you get a touch. And Ruben Lopata-White, I think he ran slower when he scored the winner the other night. It just shows you what it means for a defender, doesn't it, for his teammate to keep that clean sheet intact.
I think usually when keepers do make a save, and it's one of those where, has he touched it or has he not, has he got something on it, they always say to the goalkeeper, just say you haven't, just so we're not having to defend a corner. But I'm all for it just to see him celebrate like that. What a save.
Dudley, important block, less than 20 to go. Gets his foot in the way. Corner taken short. Like again, has to be alert. That could have gone anywhere as well. Any touch turns it in different directions. Brockie picks up a loose touch. Great. Into Dudley. Played over the top. Gray was looking for it. McDonald will have to be quick to get there. He misses the header. Trying to flick it on towards his strike partner. Gray's got a losing battle here, and he's won a throw, and he's done very well.
Yeah, he has. Really has, and he's just ruffled a few feathers as well. Well, he's done that for the last 71.5 minutes, never 72.5. So, yeah, it does help when you have a striker who can just win something out of it, nothing, because Norwich have put a bit of pressure on now. First time in the whole of the game when they're looking very dangerous going forward, exploited just a few gaps, whether that's tired minds, switching off ever so slightly due to a bit of fatigue from a Leeds perspective, but it's important we just wrestle that control back ever so slightly.
Zachary Baumann plays a pass to Ozcan, the Norwich bencher, try to dissect where they can find any joy in this match. They come into the game on the back of a win over Newcastle, a 3-2 scoreline. Shows they've got talent in this group. Newcastle's academy is a very strong one. Gray not happy at the lack of pressure from McDonald. That's where that mental fatigue can kick in. That's a great pass. Bridges split the midfield. It's into Jones. Lopata-White sends him to the ground. Pickles into McDonald. Slightly caught off guard. McDonald, who's racing forward. That should be play on, and it will be. Just a couple of decisions that Leeds have made recently where they're just getting caught out. Lienou gets a toe to the ball. Douglas covers, just shields the marker away from the ball as Ombang clears only as far as Aboh, who's got as much time as he wants to play it wide. It's with William G of Norwich. Heavy touch from Bridge into Gray. Gray having his shirt pulled. Oh, he wasn't. Here's Welch. The more he gets the ball, the more you feel he's the danger man. coming off the bench. Referee's given advantage for a late challenge on him. Everyone behind the ball for Leeds but Harry Gray. McDonald nips in with an interception. Brockie now to Pickles. Pickles letting it roll, perhaps a costly decision. And the free kick comes Norwich's way, and that looked like it wasn't much of a call. Okwumo is going to be carded. I think he said something I can't repeat.
Yeah, let's not repeat what got said, because we do like our job, believe it or not, here on LUTV, bringing this coverage of, yeah, it's a real battle, isn't it, Tom, tonight? Has been for pretty much the whole of the game. And with just under 15 minutes plus stoppage to play, it's becoming one of those challenges where Norwich are pushing us further back. We've seen an absolute unbelievable world-class save from Ombang. But for ourselves, can we just get foot on the ball, get back playing how we've done for the majority of the game, get into some good areas, and can we test Norwich out ourselves?
Maybe here we can. Lienou, 3 in the box for company for Leeds in white shirts. Lienou just wasn't fully settled to cross the ball, so he's kept hold of it. And he goes back up the line to Howson. Howson to Pickles, into Lienou, back to Pickles. Leeds just could do with a couple of minutes of possession, Ben. Johnny Howson decides that that isn't the answer. It's a mistake from the veteran. Just seen a bit of mental fatigue, aren't we, the last few minutes? It is hard, you know, a couple of days rest. And Norwich are a good team, and when you knock on the door in 50-50 battles most of the night, any slight error will be punished. Harry Gray fixes errors in transition on the press because he feels that his teammates behind him should be closer. There is a line of 4, including Devon Brockie, who's gone wide right now. Render's dropped that deep to mark the full-back Ozcan because he's been pushed forward. Brockie with the pull on the shirt of Welch. The referee wants a free kick to be taken again because there was another change coming as Norwich prepare another sub. It is Djedje for Edenbridge. I think the break might have done Leeds a bit of a favour, Ben, just to get a breather. Yeah,
and just to regroup, regather, and just get positions right for these set pieces, because we spoke about first half how important they are, even more so with a game so finely balanced.
Welch begging for a touch in a yellow shirt. Ombang gratefully watches everybody get nowhere near it. Lienou back to Howson with a powerful first touch, gives himself room to go down the line. Gray just muscled off the ball. You can hear the patter from his studs on the tarmac around the outside of the LNER Community Stadium pitch because he didn't want to run over the advertisement boards. Howson's nipped in with another important challenge. No panic on the clearance. It's a calm pass to McDonald, who has been squeezed over by that Norwich press. He goes back to his defender. Little nudge on Gray, puts him off the ball. Gray turns, wins a free kick. There'll be no rush from Leeds, Ben, you'd feel here, with Gray down especially. Main strikers down, so take their time. It's a free kick, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and get to the point when approaching the last 10 minutes, any time you can take out of the clock, do so. But just don't get into the mindset of sitting back trying to hold on to this 1-0 lead. We had a better team when we try and do things nice and positive. There might be more times than not in the remaining time of the game when we're having to do a bit more defending. But if we can be a bit more proactive in his play, that will certainly help our cause.
Touch from Leeds. Norwich wanted to take the throw in quicker, didn't have the chance. pullback on the shirt of Aboh. Lienou, I think, accepts the free kick. I don't think Pickles, his positioning was helping Lienou give the ball back, not that he's bothered. It was a good disguise though for his quite feeble attempt to say, I'm desperately trying to give you it back. Just this lad's in the way, I'm sorry. If he wasn't here, I'd have given you it back ages ago. Crazily, it's helped everyone reset and get in position. Referee's just dropped something to, might have been his foam spray. Free header for Leeds at the far post to try and recover. Render's nipped in, better feature since coming off the bench because Leeds just haven't had the ball. Plain and simple. Here's Welch again. Here's Welch. Back to Ozcan. Just try to get right in the face of these Norwich players. You just get the sense there's been no easy way for Leeds to see this game out. It's going to be a battle to the very end. Douglas nips in, good challenge, knocks off balance. Lopata-White tries to pat him on the back to pick him up off the ground. As Gray goes to ground, he gets a free kick. Much to the disgust of Djedje, who claims his innocence. A discussion from Dylan Jones, who's asking the official something. Now he sets off with an extra zest of motivation under his belt towards Ombang. He's a lot more pressurised than he first looked like he was going to be. Lienou at Mundle-Smith, different dimension to their battle. Now he's been carded. There's Okwumo. Into Baumann. Past Djedje. Now into G. It's attack versus defence the last few minutes, Ben.
No, it is, but the most important thing, we're not giving any freebies up. We're not gifting opportunities away. It's not been shot after shot.
Ozcan did just make three of these defenders dive in there, though. Nobody got a touch to the ball. Brockie this time stands up. Djedje out wide to Mundle-Smith. Lienou able to get to it. Smashed down the line looking for Gray, and just the venom on that will help Leeds win a throw. And Harry Gray trying to confuse the Norwich defender by pretending there was a centre forward up front. No, that's outstanding. It'd only been made better if he'd have turned around and panicked. But he looked at him and said almost, "Do you think I'm that stupid?"
I think for a split second, a bit of panic crept in. I think that's what made it quite amusing when clearly there's no one in a white shirt within about 30 yards, especially going that direction.
Yeah, McDonald's carried it, lays it to Brockie. Shooting chance here. He's just been able to get in free space. Hasn't executed like he would have done. Did he get that caught underneath his feet then?
No, it certainly did. And in the grand scheme of things, in relation to this match, that's better than a half a chance. Really is. As you said, Tom just didn't sort his feet out, didn't quite get the ball into a position where he could step onto it and get a decent strike away.
Pickles, McDonald, Gray. all shocked at the free kick. Harry Gray actually tried to tell Norwich where the free kick should have been taken from rather than time waste. As G takes the ball forward, Gray's emptying the tank to get across the park from one side to the other. Dudley, important interception. Norwich being told to recycle quickly. That's where Leeds have got to be careful. Can't afford to complain to the official and switch off. Aboh tries to get past Howson, who picks the pocket, then wins the throw. If there's things you can do as a centre-half or a defender, Ben, when you're under the pump, it's things like that where everyone just inside their own head are thanking you.
Oh, look, speaking to a handful of these young under-21 players, they've been nothing but impressed and loved having Johnny Howson training with him day to day and then playing in the matches with him. And every day is a learning curve, and it's just little examples of that. Instead of shanking, a clearance out, giving the ball straight back, he won a free kick. Yeah, Norwich are in possession again, but those are the learning curves you do pick up.
Here's Douglas. Brockie, Render, back to Brockie, and back to Render. Brilliant control from Leeds. Render looks to his outside. He sees Dudley, the speed merchant. He's got Brockie, he's got McDonald, he's also got Render for the cutback. He's spotted him. Here is Render. He missed, kicks it. The game on the line there for Leeds if that goes in. Jacob Render, maybe it came at him at such an inviting angle that he thought the connection was automatic. A lapse in concentration, but what a team move before that.
Oh, he did everything right in the build-up, did Render. Made the right option with his pass. We got some bodies into some fantastic areas for the first time in a while in the second half. Almost felt like the time he had to think about the finish when the ball was rolling back to him. Don't think that helped him one little bit. Yeah, at the very end there were a bit of pressure going towards the ball, but that was a great chance to kill this game off.
Scoots pass up to Welch. Howson tracking him all the time. Welch just slips. Howson comes back for a second attempt and wins it. About a minute and a half left of regulation time. And Welch puts the ball down for his fullback. No long throwing up the sleeve of Norwich City for now. McDonald, slight toe to the ball. Lienou nips in. The same again shout comes from Scott Gardner. It refers to no fouls, no free kicks, give absolutely nothing away, barring desperation and last ditch. Here's G. Leeds are camped in their own half. There's two lines of white shirts desperate to keep this clean sheet intact. Render, he's done so well, wins the duel, but then makes sure by leaving the leg in he can get fouled. There's another clap from Ben Parker alongside me, and it's just the crafty side of the game sometimes that's got to get you over the line. Yeah,
it's brilliant work, really is. Mentioned about the two subs coming on for Leeds, trying to be bang at it. Be no drop-offs in terms of the work rate as a collective. We've seen evidence of Brockie early part when he first came on, but now Render towards the end of the match as well, helping his team out.
Ombang looking for Brockie. 3 minutes of stoppage time for Leeds to hang on here, and that is what they're doing for now. Howson. Lienou, Lopata-White. It's desperate defending again from Leeds. Howson just couldn't get out of his feet. The shot will come in. Howson is suggesting he's had his shirt pulled beforehand. Nobody else but him will be more relieved that that ball has gone behind the goal. There's a slight lapse in concentration. Tired legs probably from Howson. Just that when you get desperate, Ben, you stick any sort of part of the body at it. It wasn't the most convincing clearance, but enough's enough, and a goal kick to come.
Yeah, when you hear the shouts from the sideline from Scott Gardner saying don't foul, yeah, we know what he's meaning, but the substance behind it is Lopata-White, don't dive in, don't commit yourself to the floor.
Pickles misses the header, the bounce of the ball takes it from him. Baumann turns him, an eye for goal. Howson stands firm, just readjusts the sock. Howson, I think it took by surprise, the venom on that shot. He's got defensive work to do as Baumann tries to get past Lienou. Howson's header up to Gray, little chest to Lienou. It's delightful from Leeds in transition. Now can Gray release the pass? He could have done, didn't fancy it for whatever reason. Now Welch is on the front foot, free kick given away. It's not been taken in the exact spot it should be. Gray takes some of the grass out from underneath his studs, which there is plenty. He's got half a lawn over there. He is now finally moving out of the way. Referee finally matches him back. Of course, he is the sole man in the wall. You have Ozcan stood next to Chinaz or Okwumo with the number 2 jersey. Ozcan in the 3. First glance, looks like they may take it short. It will be like a floated pass to the far post. Such an important part of this game. Back to Welch. Try to take something a bit different here. Great. Gets the contact from Welch, and that's exactly what he wanted. He didn't want to get away from him. He wanted to be fouled. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, superb work. Even just from a defensive unit, the whole 10 outfield players didn't buy for the little trickery from the resulting set piece that Norwich had. And then when the ball just falls to Harry Gray, he's not trying anything fancy. He's not trying a pirouette 25 yards out from his own goal. Just does what all good centre forwards, all good number 9s do. Just buys a free kick for his team. The ball long, just a time-wasting tactic, get it to as far down the other end of the pitch as possible, and there is the full-time outcome. Leeds United get an important win. They go above Norwich in the table, who started the night 2 places, 1 point above them, and Conor Douglas's goal, which seemed like a lifetime ago, it's been practically defence and attack versus defence for large sections of that second half, but that's a great effort from this young group.